Hey guys, so I was trying to figure out how to do a video where I explained my year-long UTI and how I didn't feel good. And I felt like the best way to do this was through a type of draw my life. So I thought I would draw my year of sickness and how I got through it. So here we go. Alright, so in order for you to guys to kind of understand what I was going through, I have to kind of take you back to when I was 22. Um, Out of the blue, one of my tonsils totally swelled up. I had a fever, I had a runny nose, I didn't feel good, and my tonsil had swollen up so big that I could no longer form words and I could barely swallow. The doctor that I had seen in the ER basically just told me that I had a sore throat and I just needed to go home and get rest. I ended up having this swollen tonsil, sore throat, painful ears, dizziness, just not feeling good. I was basically sick for like months before my tonsil finally went down in size and I started to feel a little bit better. But my ears always hurt. The ear pain never went away. The stuffy nose never went away. I could never breathe out of my nose. I didn't feel good, and I would occasionally get vertigo, and that just basically sucked. Anyways, so here I am. I think I'm 29 and I've got my three girls, and I've been dealing with that horrible stuffy nose, earache, vertigo stuff for years now. It's become a part of my life. It just, some days I can't go out because I don't want to fall over because I'm super dizzy. Some days I can't handle the pressure. So, anyways, that's just how long I was dealing with that. So in February of 2016, my husband was going to dive school, and they said that if he had a cold or any sinus pressure, he was not allowed to dive. He had to take Sudafed. And so he told me about it, and I decided to give it a try. I'm not a medicine person. I don't like taking medicine. But it cleared up everything that was wrong with me, and I was so happy. You have no idea how happy I was. So I took it every day, once a day, so one dose, February, March, April, May. But then I started having other issues. My stomach started hurting really bad. Every time I ate or drank anything, I wanted to vomit. And the doctor ended up telling me that I had gastritis, which was inflammation of my stomach. Then a lovely new thing started happening to me where I needed to go to the bathroom. And I'll just say bathroom because it was actually more like liquid acid, and I needed to find bathrooms anywhere I went. And I was going to the bathroom like 6 to 8 times a day easily. And my doctor said this was all because I had been taking Sudafed for so long. So I stopped taking Sudafed, and then I had to figure out how to fix my ears a different way with nasal rinses and doing things more natural. Anyways, let's flash forward to Melanie's third birthday, where I felt miserable. I wanted to throw up. I was looking for bathrooms. I didn't feel good. I was lightheaded. My stomach hurt. I just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I mean, this couldn't have been the Sudafed either because I had stopped taking Sudafed months before, but I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Then by the end of the night, I felt a horrible, horrible pulling pain on my side and in my back, and I knew something was wrong. I was screaming in pain. I was crying. My husband had to take me to the ER immediately. After waiting in the emergency room for several hours, I finally saw a doctor, and they told me, hey, you have a UTI. You're fine. Take some medicine. Go home. Check in with your primary care doctor in a day or two. So a day or two goes by, and I go and I see my primary care doctor, and I am having excruciating pain. I'm screaming and crying. I can barely walk. I can barely move. And I'm saying, please help me. So my doctor tells me, hey, you have blood in your urine. You may have kidney stones. You need to go have an ultrasound. And on top of it, because I was still going to the bathroom, and you know what I mean by bathroom, she decided to refer me to see a gastrointestinal doctor to try to fix my issues. A few days after that, I was having horrible pain again. I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, I didn't know what was going on. I ended up going to the emergency room again, and they did not want to help me. They were like, "It's a UTI, go home." And I was like, "It's not, it's kidney stones, it's something else, figure out what's wrong with me." And they decided to hold me for a few hours before doing a CAT scan on me, and sure enough, they looked at my kidneys and bladder and said, "Hey, you just now passed a kidney stone, right there." Anyway, so that was my life for a few months. Couldn't figure out if it was a UTI or kidney stones. I kept getting different answers, but um, I ended up seeing my gastrointestinal doctor, who said that she wanted to have an ultrasound done of my tummy to get a good look to see what was going on inside. So, January was my ultrasound appointment, and she said, "Come back in May. I'll give you your results." While I'd been on all sorts of different antibiotics, I was becoming resistant to all of them, and I was getting really frustrated with my doctor. And I said, "I need to go see somebody that can help me, like a urologist." So she finally referred me to one. I had to ask for it though. So, come February 2017, I finally get in to see the urologist, and he immediately does an x ray on me, like right there on the spot. He says, "Yes, you have kidney stones, but there's two things in your bladder that I don't know what they are, so please sign this release form, and I'll look at your x rays that you had previously done in the emergency room, and we'll go from there. Meantime, take D-mannose and oregano oil as a natural root supplement for your antibiotics." The natural root wasn't helping me at all, so I had a bunch of friends telling me, "Hey, I tried this, hey, try that, try this diet, try doing this." So I ended up calling up the urologist and saying, "Hey, can I take an antibiotic every day for 6 months? I heard that helps some people." So he, over the phone, says, "Sure, no problem," and he wrote me a unlimited prescription for an antibiotic to take daily. That seemed to work for a bit. Meanwhile, I had my appointment with the gastrointestinal doctor in May, and I showed up to my appointment only to discover that they had new computers and completely lost my appointment there. So she said, "Oh, sorry, come back in August." Frustrated, I decided to do my own research to try to figure out how to fix this bathroom issue, and so I did. I ended up taking a probiotic. It did back me up a little bit, but at least I wasn't in search of a bathroom for every 5 minutes. When I had my appointment with her in August to get my results, she had no idea what was wrong, and then I was just like, "You know what, I fixed it anyways, thanks for your help." So now we're up to September 2017, and I'm calling my urologist going, "Hey, what's going on? We've been doing this now for months. What's the next step? I still have a UTI." And he says, "Oh, I'm still waiting on your x-rays from last year." And I was furious. I was like, "You know what? I need a second opinion. This is ridiculous." So I go ahead and I make a 45-minute drive during rush hour traffic, and I talk to this doctor who straight out tells me, "I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know why you're having UTIs. Sorry, can't help you." Rude. By this point, guys, it's been a year. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's no end in sight. I'm resistant to all these meds. I was crying. I was sad. I was looking for somebody, please help me. Somebody had suggested that maybe I see the head of urology. So I called up the doctor again and I said, "I want to see your boss." So that doctor looks inside my bladder with a little camera and she just says, "Hey, this is inflamed. There's no kidney stones. Why don't we try putting you on IV medicine? That might help clear your bloodstream." So about a week or two later, a nurse shows up at my house and inserts an IV for me and shows me how to use the medicine. And I had to wear it for 2 weeks straight, and I had to do this twice, so 2 times in a row. I felt miserable. Needless to say, that did not do the trick. So I was referred to infectious disease, and I mean, I am at this point, I'm so depressed and so sad, and I'm feeling like I'm gonna die. Medicines aren't working for me. This is never gonna end. It's been over a year, and the head of urology can't fix me. So I go and I see the infectious disease doctor, and he says, "Hey, you've got these kidney stones in here that they've been in here this entire time, and I think that they're the cause of the infection. That's why it's not going away, because they're still there." He says I'm gonna need surgery. Still, you guys, I don't feel good. My stomach still hurts. I still am occasionally having the bathroom issues. Not as often, but I decided to go see an acupuncturist Chinese doctor, and she tells me that she thinks that I developed E. coli from eating some beef, maybe from In-N-Out. So she does acupuncture on me, which makes me feel a lot better. and she puts me on a special diet. She says I can't have anything cold, no cold water, nothing out of the fridge, nothing spicy, and no beef, and that should help fix my stomach. So a month later, my stomach actually is all better. I'm not having any more bathroom issues. Like, my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. I feel pretty good. My doctor says, though, in order to have the surgery, I have to have the IV put in, but this time in a different spot on my arm. And let me tell you, this hurt so bad. I could barely move my arm. So the head of urology is the one that actually did my surgery, and she went in up through my bladder and she pulled out the kidney stones, and then she had to stick in these stents to hold my ureters open so they could drain properly. But she wasn't able to get the big stone out, the one that had the infection on it, and she told me I was going to have to do it again. Merry Christmas to me. So the stents that she placed inside of me caused horrible, horrible muscle spasms, and I could barely stand up straight. I couldn't really walk. When I went pee, it felt like I was peeing out shards of glass. So I basically was living on my sofa with a heating pad and curled up into a ball while my husband and my friends and family did everything they could to help me out. As a mom of three, you desperately need people to help you out. That was the longest week of my life. I was totally terrified to have to do this surgery again, knowing how painful it was the first time. But the second time wasn't that bad. I wasn't laying down as often. I was able to walk around more. And she got the kidney stone out, and the infection actually completely cleared up. So that was a plus. She had me do a second ultrasound after the surgery to make sure she cleared out everything and that my kidneys were working good, and it seemed like everything was okay. I was rarely getting muscle spasms, not as bad, but at least once a day I would get like maybe a 5 to 10 minute muscle spasm that would knock me off my feet. But I was feeling so much better. In February, she had me come back in for a checkup, and she told me that I was having a lot of scar tissue in there and that she was probably going to have to do the surgery again. And at this point, I just felt like, no, I'm sorry. I feel good. I'm finally better. I don't even think you knew what you were doing to begin with, head of urology. So I haven't been back to do that, but I've actually felt so much better, and that's a year and a half of my life of being sick and feeling miserable. So that's what ended up happening to me. But I haven't had a UTI since. I've been feeling great, and I've been enjoying my life again. I finally have energy to do things. But I hope that nobody else has to go through this. Doctors really kind of suck. They're not that great. I still can't eat beef though. I think I developed an allergy.